John Mellencamp rose to fame as a bad boy rocker performing under the name John Cougar. But by 1985, he was 34 years old and maturing into a more poignant singer-songwriter, a guy capable of capturing a moment as he had in Jack and Diane. Mellencamp was looking to push the envelope even further creatively. He had grown up with tremendous folk music influences, listening to the Guthries and Bob Dylan. With his next album, he left no doubt that he had finally come into his own as a rare singer and artist who could combine top-selling hits with social statements on the level of those heroes.
With Scarecrow, John kind of graduated, really found his stride as an artist. But Scarecrow was pretty close to being a concept album, and it covered obviously some weighty issues.
John comes from a farming community, in Seymour. The demise of the American farm was and is one of the great tragedies in America. And John coming to some social realizations, some political realizations, seeing a member of his family lose his farm, that just motivated him to become a more political writer and look more inside than outside.
I was 5, I walked the fence while Grandpa held my hand.
The album was dedicated to his grandfather, Spec Mellencamp, who had recently died of cancer.
John really admired his grandfather, very much admired him, and was very similar to him in a lot of ways. Tough exterior, tender interior. And I think a great deal of that record was driven by that love of family, that reconnection with family.
The album's title song was an anthem on the plight of the American family farmer.
I think about my grandpa, my neighbors and my name. It's so nice to feel like dying, like I scarecrow in the rain. Rain on the scarecrow, blood on the plow, the stand for the nation. Hey, this land made me proud. And son, I'm just sorry, there's just memories for you now.
As importantly, people listened. The album sold 5 million copies. Lonely Old Night, the autobiographical Small Town, and ROCK in the USA all became top 10 hits.
John suddenly had gone from producing hit singles to singles that meant something, that meant more. And really what was born out of that was the Farm Aid movement.
John was happy to come on board because we just finished Scarecrow and all that music, and it fit right into the politics of our moment and the politics of the country. For the first time, John could step forward and say, this is what I believe.
Founded by Mellencamp, Willie Nelson, and rocker Neil Young, Farm Aid was a multi-artist benefit concert that would raise millions of dollars to aid family farmers. Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, and many others showed up to play in what would become one of the biggest successes of 1985 and is now an annual event.
He personally felt very close to it because, he had relatives that were farmers. And he, growing up in Indiana, you're in farmland. And so he identified with the struggling farmer.